Well, hello, FEG family, and welcome to the Market Carver this week. Happy Father's Day for those of us that are daddies out there. I lost mine over a decade ago, so for those of you who get to celebrate with your dads, please take the time to enjoy them. For the rest of us, we'll work on memories and trying to make some memories and experiences with our own kids. But happy Father's Day nonetheless. The month of May is gone. We're in June. Hopefully, we will not have 36-degree nights and 80-degree days and following one another, but who knows. Much to talk about. We'll turn immediately to the fundamental leg. There is a thing called GAAP in accounting, where companies have to essentially say everything about all of their expenditures that are out there, all the things that are known. The technology sector tends to get away from that, and many times with options expenses for their stock grants, I should say, for their management team, executive team. Sometimes in technology, they simply don't account for those. And amazingly enough, we just tend to overlook it. Apple follows the rules, as most other sectors do. About 1% of its compensation is eaten up in stock options and executive grants, things of that nature. Salesforce.com, one of the largest clouding companies, and we have a new part of the family of the firm working for Salesforce now. Literally, when you back out all of their expenditures for stock options, has zero earnings. Very, very interesting thing. It tends to only happen in technology, but it's one of the reasons why we've got Adam and look at some of the fundamental stuff. You know, this market can continue to go up for an extended period of time, but what we want to find is the funny money, the baloney that's in there. It's great to have an index real high one day. You just don't want to come collapsing on you the next, so we do have to pay attention to it. Moving to the technical leg, you'll see in the chart that the S&P 500 has continued to bounce down, gets to a range, and that green line that's going up is some imaginary thing that we call support. And when markets tend to hit support, they tend to bounce off and go up in a positive way. They also have tops that are called resistance. And when they get to resistance levels, they tend to pop themselves down. The next important part of the S&P 500 is around 1660. To see if there is a roof, if you will, a level of resistance that it can work its way through. And if it falls back down to 1600, which is where support tends to be right now, those tend to be the things that we're watching very, very carefully. In Andrew's department, on the technical aspect, there's many things that we watch, but those are the big ones that we have to pay attention to right now. Again, right now, the trend is your friend, and in the market continues to work its way up. Every now and then I get asked about the institutional leg and why I think it's so important. Well, BlackRock is the big dog. When you hear iShares, BlackRock owns them. They are the largest money manager, a little over $4 trillion in assets. So they own more stock in more companies than people can possibly imagine. More than 5% in over 40% of the companies in the S&P 500. I guess actually it's all publicly traded companies. And that's because of the exchange-traded funds and everything else. So they're very, very, very influential. We want to watch what it is they're doing because they literally do move the market. They're the largest shareholder in 1 out of 5 companies in the S&P 500. It's a phenomenally large company. And their scope is very, very long and large. So we listen to and watch BlackRock very, very closely. A few years back, Goldman, I believe it was, coined the term BRICS. That stood for Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Then we had the PIGS. That was Portugal, Italy, and Ireland both, Greece, and Spain. And now Goldman Sachs is coming up with a new one called MIST. Mexico, Indonesia, South Korea, and Turkey. 4 economies that don't sound at all alike, but all outperformed the BRICS, or the emerging markets, the last decade. A lot of changes taking place in there, and we really need to look to the neighbor to the south. Some of the things that are going on in their automotive world are very, very exciting. We need to continue to work this international world, see what's going on. As I've said before, right now, all of the strength appears to be in the S&P 500, but paying attention to some of those international economies, and now the MIST, Mexico, Indonesia, Turkey, and South Korea will matter apparently going forward, and we have to keep them on the radar. Rules to live by. Wall Street people learn nothing and forget everything. That was Benjamin Graham. We are horrible revisionists when it comes to economics and what happened in markets. That's true. I don't know if it's necessarily that bad that we forget everything. But people always want to say that it's different this time. And if you have paid attention to some of the things that we've sent out, the statement letters and some of the other things, we are at some record pressing times in various things. The low interest on low short interest, margin debts back to tech wreck levels back in February of 2000. Very, very, very concerning things that are underpinning part of this market that make yours truly very, very nervous. July 4th is on its way. It's one of our favorite holidays. It's a great time to be able to cook out and to have great conversations about what built this country and some of the things that are going on and the people that are there. It's a great time to share some of those values. I encourage people on the radio this week with Father's Day to take some time to write a memo to be able to share with their kids some of the things that they want to leave behind more than money. Some of the things that made us who we are, the values that we have. Just take that little bit of time, and hopefully on the 4th of July, you will find time to celebrate this great country, to talk about some of those things as well. If you're out and about on Saturday morning, don't forget the radio show, 9 to 10 on WQME on Saturday. Sunday morning, it's 10 to 11 on Shine 99, both AM, of course, in the morning. And you can find the newspaper column as well at the website at yourlifeafterwork.com. Folks, we hope you have a wonderful day. God bless. Have a great Father's Day. We'll see you again soon.